Yeah, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in to the channel. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. So, as you've seen on the last episode, got an engine pulled out, getting ready to make some upgrades. Also get ready to pull that wiring harness out, the one I built myself. But before I did that, I wanted to show you how I built it and tied it into the 3rd gen existing wiring harness so that I could use my factory gauges, which I did use them in the beginning, and some of the things I did to get my 3rd gen running off of the truck harness that I had. So let's get into it. Okay, so it's two main connectors that you're going to need to connect your 5360 LS1 harness to your 3rd gen harness. Okay, it's going to be the C207, which is going to be under the passenger side dash, still connected to your original PCM, and you're going to need the C100. Okay, that's going to be right next to your boost controller under the hood. Okay, I'll show you that real quick. Okay, right here, I know it's a lot of wires, but right under here, right under your relays, you C100. Okay, you unscrew that through that bolt right there, and it comes off this way. All right, and I'll show you guys a pinout later. Looks like a lot of wires. It's because it is a lot of wires, but once you break it down one by one, figure out where each one goes, it becomes less complicated. Only becomes a lot of wires. It looks like a spaghetti once you get everything lined out and get it all where it needs to go and bundled up. But alright, so let's get my PCM down. Alright, there it is. Woo! That's a lot of stuff. See, I labeled it blue. One side. Got a lot of wires on here. And red on the other side. And see, I actually went through and put labels on each one of these to know where it goes. You see, R60. So once you look at your pinout, it will tell you what each one of these wires is and where it goes. Right. So each one of these wires go to a corresponding sensor, whether it be your TPS or your mass airflow if you're using one. My car is speed density, so I don't have it. Or whether it be your alternator or your wires running to your transmission, which that's a separate pinout, which I'm not using it. I was using it when I had a 4L60E, but now I have a Turbo 400, so I'm not using any wires going to my PCM. So throttle positioning sensor, see what else I said, mass airflow, coolant temperature, each one of your injectors, your NOx sensors, all of those come right in here. Okay. Now, see, now there's no need for me to actually look at this here. That's a lot. It looks like a lot, but it's not really a lot. So, so look at the pinout and I'll show you whichever one everything goes to. So if it's already on the computer, you're gonna have to take. Okay, it is a 7mm. Okay, it's a 7mm to fit on that, it'll take that screw loose, not nut, screw. Now once you take it loose, you look on the other side, both of these will be the same, okay? On the red or the blue side, or I think another one is green and blue for a different PCM. But mine is out of a 2002 Camaro, I think, and I had the red and blue ones. So, but yours could be green and blue. When I said green and blue, it'll have like plastic covers over the pins. Like one of these will be blue, like on both sides, or on the other side of the computer it'll be red or green. Okay. So I'm not gonna reuse this. This will probably end up going in my Nova. I'll probably redo the wiring harness again to make it match for the Nova. So I've got my wiring harness. It's not really a standalone because it's wired in with my factory wiring harness for my. It's been on there for a while. Alright, so that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like when you gotta take it off. You're gonna have these blue clips in it. And the other side will be red. That one will be red because I have a blue and a red PCM. Like I said, you may have a blue and green one. Alright, so to get these pins out, you're gonna have to pop. You have to pop these tabs off. You're gonna need either a 7-level screwdriver or a pick to push in the pins on the tabs on the side. Not the pins, but the tabs. I need to push those in. Okay. So let me get a screwdriver real quick and push those in. On both sides. Take that side off. There we go. Got it off. It comes right off. As soon as you push it in, it comes right off. Right, so now you got your pins, your pinouts. Okay. This is what's corresponding with your pinout sheet. Okay. And you remove those. You remove these. You may have ones that you're not gonna use. Okay. So what you want to do is, or what I did, I took them all out. I took them all out first, and then reback and pinned it according to the sheet that you saw earlier. So the way you remove these is the same. You take this, the little screwdriver, pull this tab up, and you just push the pin out. So I'm just gonna push it up, push the tab up, and push the pin out. Tab up, push the pin out. Alright, that's all you gotta do. Push the tab up, pull the pin out. Easy. And now I'm gonna leave mine in. Yes, like I said, it's the same thing on both sides. Okay. Alright, so now you just want to unpin all of these. Just unpin everything so you have just a pinless connector. Okay. And then you have to identify what sensor is. Obviously you got 8 injectors. You're gonna have 2 wires per injector. So that's 16 wires right there. Now my injector fuse wires are wired a little bit different than probably most of you guys that run in standalone ones. Anybody that's familiar with Pocket on thirdgen.org, I've wired mine in almost exactly how he wired his in, right? Because mine was a TBI car when I first had it, and it had 2 fuses per injector for the TBI car. I wired 4 of my injectors into 1 fuse and the other 4 into the other fuse. But I'll get into that a little bit later. Alright guys, so you can look under here. Here's where my 207 is, okay? And when I say I'm routing the pink wires to it, all I'm doing is I'm running the fuse side of the injector to this. So I'm running all driver side forward injector fuse sides to this one, and the same for the passenger side. So I'm using one fuse, since my car was a TBI car originally, and it had 2 injectors for throttle body injections. I'm using one fuse from the original harness for one side of the injector, and one fuse for the other side. See, this is your 207. Also, if you have a 90, if you don't have, it was a 90, 93 and newer car that had the OB1s, or the 93 and older cars, it was 93 and older, that had OB1 connectors, you'll want to go to a junkyard and get any newer car that has an OBD2 connector, okay? And you want to get that and hook that up in your car, because you're not going to be able to connect your PCM with your laptop unless you have that OBD2 connector, right? So here is the pinout for your OBD2 connector. So you go to the junkyard and you find this in any newer car. This is going to be in any new car, okay? And this, just cut the wires and everything with it, unbolt it, bring it with you. And once you get under there, you, first of all, if you're in a junkyard, you some kind of mechanically inclined. Okay, so take your bolts loose, your screws, whatever's holding this under the dash, cut all the wires that's next to it, okay? And just bring all the wires with you, you know, just a couple of inches, you know, maybe 5 or 6 inches would be good enough. Just something that you can strip down later and solder new wires to, so you can run it to your PCM. And as you can see, this is how it works. You put your pin 2, all right, that's going to be your purple wire, right? That's your signal going to the ECU, the EMC, PMC, ECU, PCM, whatever you want to call it. It's going to your computer, okay? The number 4 one is going to be your ground. 5 is also going to be a ground. 16 is going to be a battery, okay? And I see it says not ignition. That's your constant battery. That one goes straight to your battery. Okay, that's what you hook up. So it's gonna always have 12 volts on it. That way you can plug into it and read something when the car is not switched on. All right. So pretty much that's it. It's right there. That's all you need. So if you don't have that in your car, you go to junkyard, you get one, and you change those pins the way you need them. Those are the only 4 ones that you need. Gonna do it for this video. Hopefully that shed a little bit of light on connecting your LS1 harness to your 3rd gen harness and being able to use your factory gauges, your factory speedometer, the battery gauge, and whatnot, without actually having a complete standalone harness. So if you didn't already, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys next time on the Boosted Solutions channel.